Fluffing is everywhere. Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to teach you how to make one of these adorable little marshmallow plushies. Now, the best thing about this beginner-friendly pattern, no sewing is required. And joining these pieces together is all done with your crochet hook. The only time you have to touch a yarn needle is for adding little features. Before we get talking about what kind of materials you'll need to make your very own Marsh Buddy, go ahead and smash that like button on this video. And if you like my content and like the kind of videos I make, go ahead and subscribe to my channel as well. I release a new video every single weekend that is either a step-by-step stitch tutorial or a beginner-friendly pattern just like this video. Very first thing that you'll need is worsted weight or size 4 yarn. I recommend using white. It fits the marshmallow stereotype a little bit better. White yarn doesn't pick up very well on camera, so instead I'm going to make another one of these little guys. This is using Caron Simply Soft in soft blue. You'll also need little yarn scraps in pink and black for the facial features. A 3.75mm or US size J crochet hook. I use these Boye ergonomic handle ones almost exclusively. They are fantastic. I have an entire set. You'll need your choice of stuffing. I really like using Poly-fil to stuff all of my plushies. A pair of scissors, a yarn needle, and a stitch marker. Now that we've talked about what we're going to need, let's get started. First things first, we are going to make the tops and bottoms of our little marshmallow buddies. So we will make 2 of these circles. To do that, we are going to need to start out with a magic ring. Now, I don't, as of right now, have a video describing how to do the magic ring, but that is going to be dropping next week. So if you need some assistance and you're watching this at least 1 week after the video has dropped, check out that link up there. If you are watching this within the first week that it dropped, very first, you're amazing. Second, I have a tutorial. It's going to come out next week. The link will be both up here in the upper right hand corner and down in the description box, so you can check that out. I'll do this 2 times nice and slowly so you can see exactly what I do. And again, that step-by-step tutorial is going to be coming out next week. Perfect. Let's do that again. The cool thing about magic rings is that really what you're doing is just crocheting around a slip knot. So you can close down your beginning round so tiny, which is just fantastic. Now you're going to single crochet 6. 1, 2, and 6. Perfect. Now partially close your magic ring. You don't want to tighten this all the way around quite yet, just because it'll make working that very first single crochet a little bit more difficult. Now, starting in your very first single crochet, you're going to increase in every single stitch all the way around. All an increase really is putting 2 single crochets in the exact same stitch. Now I'm going to grab, now that I've done my increase, I'm going to grab my stitch marker, put them in the very first stitch of that row. And that just helps me keep track of where the beginnings of my rows are. So again, an increase is just doing a single crochet 2 times. Now that we've finished row 2, we are going to move our stitch marker out of the way. In this first stitch, we'll put an increase. In the second stitch, we'll just put a normal single crochet, and we'll repeat that all the way around. Increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, all the way around till we come back to the beginning. So first I'll do my increase. Then I'll do my single crochet. And while I'm thinking about it, let's put our stitch marker back at the first stitch of the row. Perfect. So I did my 2 stitches in my increase, single crochet. Increase, single crochet. Now that we've come to the end of round 3, we should have 18 stitches all the way around. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Fantastic. Now for row 4, we are going to stagger our increases. And if you want more details about crocheting in the round like this in a spiral and how to stagger increases and why we do that, I have a video as well. Check it out. But for now, we're going to start out our row with 2 single crochets. So here's one, or with 1 single crochet. that guy there. And now we'll increase in this stitch, put a single crochet in the next 2. Increase, single crochet, single crochet. All right, guys, I'm almost to the end of the row. I just did another increase, single, single. I have 2 stitches left here. So I'm going to do another increase. And then 1 single crochet. Perfect. Now this row, or this round, should have 24 stitches in it. Now let's move on to round number 5. So here we're going to start with an increase. Now single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 3. Fantastic. Now increase here. Single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And we'll continue to do this all the way around. Excellent. I just finished this row and I have 30 stitches in this row. We have 2 more rows. I keep saying row, I mean round. We have 2 more rounds until we're done with our first circle. Now for this row, again, I mean round, holy crows, I'm going to do 2 single crochets. Let's do that first one. Replace my stitch marker. Second single crochet. Now we're going to do an increase. Again, this is part of staggering your increases, and I have a whole video talking about why. Then 4 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So I have single crochet, increase, single, 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 single. Perfect. Now we will again do an increase followed by 4 single crochet. Okay guys, I'm almost at the end of this round and I have 3 stitches left. So in those 3 stitches, I'm going to do an increase and then 2 single crochets. All right guys, that round should have 36 stitches in it. Now this is going to be our last round of the circle. We're going to start off with an increase. Replace my stitch marker. Now we're going to have 5 single crochet. Increase, then 5 single crochet, and you will do this all the way around. Beautiful. Now you're going to take this yarn, you're going to cut it. Now this end does not need to be particularly long. Go ahead and rewind to this time so that you can make your second circle. Congratulations, ladies and gents, you are working on your last piece. Once we finish up this rectangle, we can start assembling. First, let's start off with a slip knot. Insert your hook. We're going to chain 13. 1, 2, 3. Now turn your work. Starting in the second chain from the hook, you're going to do 12 single crochet. Again, so this little loop over my hook does not count as anything. So this would be the first chain. This is the second chain. All right, we finished our first row, not round. I'm not going to mess this up this time. We are going to chain 1, chain 1, turn our work, and then single crochet 12 all the way across again. So this is right here is row 2. We're going to do a grand total of 42 of these rows, including the first row of single crochets. We're going to have 42 rows of single crochets. Come back to me and chat at that point. Do not, however, cut your yarn. Don't cut your yarn. All right, ladies and gents, you did it. Congratulations, you have all 3 pieces of your Marsh Buddy all complete. It's time to stick them together. We're going to chain 1. In between my last row that I did and the second to last row, I'm going to insert my hook. I'm going to leave that be there for just a moment. We're going to grab one of our circles, and anywhere you really want to start you're going to insert your hook through both loops of that circle, of the edge of that circle. Then we're going to slip knot or slip stitch. Perfect. Now this was our last row that we did. This is our second to last row. This is my third row. Between these two, the second to last and third to last rows, we're going to insert our hooks. Insert our hook through the next stitch of our circle. We're going to slip stitch. You will do that all the way around. So this last round had 42 stitches and this has 42 rows. So for every 1 stitch on our circles, there is a corresponding row on our rectangle. Continue working all the way around until you have a partial cylinder. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've reached the end of slip stitching around, connecting my first circle to the sides of my rectangle. Now what we're going to do next, insert our hook through the last stitch of this row and of this row. We are going to single crochet, and by single crochet I mean slip stitch all the way down the side. Now if it's difficult for you to determine which stitch you need to be working into while going down the side, something you can do is to find that very first stitch. You can count 12 up from the opposite side, since there are 12 stitches in each row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I just did these 2 for my 11, 12. All right, I'm working through these last 2 stitches. Perfect. And this tail, we're just going to shove him inside. Just like the first one, we're just kind of going to ignore him. Now we are going to now stuff this partial cylinder with our filling. Again, you can use whatever you want. I've seen people use old rags or bits of old shirt. I've seen people use beads or other kind of heavier weighted materials. I like to use Poly-fil. So I'm going to just take this stuff, I'm going to stretch it out so that my little marshmallow buddy doesn't have any big old lumps. I'm going to gently press. Now, general rule of thumb, when you are making something with crochet that you need some kind of filling, it is better to overfill than to underfill. All right, this is probably as full as I dare stuff it at this stage. So you can see it's kind of pushing up out of here. Now we are going to put a lot more in this before the night is out, but this is a good place to stop for right now. We are going to slip stitch this circle onto the side of our rectangle. Insert your hook into the side of your circle and slip stitch. We are not going to slip stitch all the way around right at this exact point. We are instead going to slip stitch about 3/4 of the way round. That will leave us a little bit of room for stuffing the rest of our marshmallow buddy. Alrighty guys, I've worked about 3/4 of the way around, and as you can see, my little guy doesn't quite have the shape and form that I would like him to. So I'm going to take more Poly-fil right here. I like to call Poly-fil fluffing just because I'm a word person and I think it's a fun word, like stuffing, but fluffy. And I am going to stuff in through this hole. Now again, I'm just going to keep adding until this guy is near to bursting. Continue to knead your little marshmallow as you're adding more stuffing, more Poly-fil, more of whatever you are using. That way you make sure that you are getting all the itty bitty corners and getting it as full as you can. Perfect. I am pretty happy with that. So I'm going to grab my crochet hook again, and I'm going to continue slip stitching all the way the edge of the marshmallow. Okay guys, I've slip stitched all the way around. I'm going to cut my yarn. I'm going to leave a nice long little tail. I'm going to pull this tail through. Fantastic. Now I have a couple ends I need to weave in real fast. Got this guy. This was part of my circle. And this guy, which was also part of my circle. And then this guy. Excellent. Now we have the shape of our little marsh buddy. You can see these guys are going to be brothers. I talked to you before about overstuffing being better than understuffing, and this is why. As time goes on, this little guy is going to shrink. All the polyfill is going to settle, and you are going to end up, if you haven't tried to slightly overstep, look like a little shrunken little dude, which is not what anybody wants. That's why we overstuff slightly at the beginning. Now you'll notice with this guy, we have a little bit of a dome on top and on bottom. That will go away the next couple of days. Now I've threaded my yarn needle with my black yarn. I'm locating this back seam that we made by slip stitching the two short ends of my rectangle together. I'm going to turn exactly opposite, and this right here is where we're going to center our face. So wherever you have the center of your face, I want you to count over 5 stitches. So, well, including the center. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. Now we're going to count 3 loops down from the top. 1, 2, 3. Right here is where we're going to start our first eye. So I'm just going to put my thumb right here, come up through or down through the top or up through the bottom. Up to you. I'm going to bring my yarn out through that hole. Perfect. Yeah, I don't need nearly this much yarn. Little bits of fluffing always seem to come out, and that's okay. Now we are going to count down 2 stitches. 1, 2, and then go 1 to the left. This is where we are going to bring our yarn. I'm going to come over here, 2 stitches over, bring my yarn back up. Perfect. And that creates the side of one of our little eyes. Now bring your yarn back into that hole, first hole you made. Now we're going to count over 8 holes from this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right here, that is where we're going to bring our needle back out. Perfect. That's one little eye made. Now we're going to do the exact same thing here. We're going to count down 2 stitches, then to the left 1 stitch. Then 2 stitches over, we'll bring the needle back out. Insert your yarn back through that top hole. But before I do that, I'm going to find where my yarn is going to come out. So this horizontal line where the bottom of my eyes are, we are going to go down 3, or we're going to go down 2 rows below that. So 1, 2. Now this is the middle right here. So again, 1, 2. This right here is where we're going to bring our yarn out. Perfect. Now we are going to count over 2 rows. 1, 2. We're going to go up 1 stitch. That's where we're going to thread our needle back through our marshmallow buddy. Now we're going to count 4 rows over. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's where our needle will come back out. Bring your needle back through here. We're going to aim to come back out through this very top hole where our yarn goes in. Now we're going to thread our yarn needle with both pieces of that yarn, insert back through the hole they came out of. We're going to come just a little back here. Perfect. Now tie a little knot. Make sure I'm still on camera. It's kind of important. Tie it down. Just manipulate your little marshmallow buddy a little bit. Cut the ends. And those ends just disappear. Okay, now we need to do the little blush marks. For that, grab your length of pink. And I learned my mistake from last time, so I'm actually going to cut this quite a bit. Boop. Now we're going to take our pink and we're going to probably come up through the bottom this time. We are aiming for the center of our eye, or 1 stitch down from where the bottoms of our eyes are. So not here, but here. That's where we want our yarn to come out. Now I'm going to stay in the same horizontal line here. We're just going to go over 2 stitches. Now I'm going to do a second little line over the blush mark just because I really want that blush mark to stand out. Now we are going to jump over to the same spot underneath this eye. So in the center here, not the same row as the bottom of the eye, but 1 row below. Perfect. Hole in 1. And the same thing, we'll stay in the same horizontal line, just go 2 stitches over. We'll do a second one. Then I'll try and get my yarn to come back out of this same hole down here. Now, if you aren't able to figure out how to get the yarn to go through the exact same hole as it did the first time, something you can do, just go through another hole that's kind of close. And then move it over the last little bit. Thread my yarn needle. I'm just going to bring it back a little bit, a ways from the face. And we'll tie a little knot. Let it disappear into our work. Cut our ends. Perfect. There you have one finished marshmallow buddy. Look. Thank you so much for watching this video. Now, if you liked this video, reminder to smash that thumbs up button and give this video a like, and also consider subscribing to my channel so you're notified every time a new video comes out. Until then, thank you and ta-ta for now.